Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Malcriada Thoughts. I'm here with the one and only, the ultimate baddie of the valley, the one changing the fibers of the blankets of machismo spread across the valley. I'm here with the one and only, the president of the Intersectional Feminist Student Organization of UTRGV, Ximena Ruiz.
Thank you so much for accepting me here.
You are welcome anytime.
Okay.
I'm so excited. Thank you for being a part of my RGV role model series. I want to know your story. I want to hear everything about IFSO. Let's get into it.
Yes, I love that. Oh my god. I'm here
so
for it.
Okay. All right. So, Ximena, a little icebreaker to start things off. What is your favorite 956 slang or phrase?
It's so funny because like the first and the only slang that I have known so far on this point is literally gonna be "k." Because literally, I am not kidding you that I have heard that slang so many fucking times. I'm like, it's just crusted in my brain. And it started even before I came even like from the 956.
Oh.
Because my nephew was the one who started telling me that specific word.
Oh.
And kema no kemaku. And I was like, where do you got it from? And then he's like, yeah, from the tacuaches. And I'm like, what the fuck is the tacuaches? Then I came here and I discovered where it was from.
The tacuaches give you the knowledge.
Yes.
The ka knowledge.
Yes, they did. The Edgars and the Kevins.
Yes. Honestly, but I love them. Like, it makes me so sad that you guys are like DLs and like trapped in like the prison that is masculinity, or like toxic masculinity, right? But like, I love y'all. Y'all are funny. They're funny as fuck.
Oh yes.
Gentlemen, like the ones that aren't evil.
Of course, the ones that are not trapped in there.
I guess like a little like derailment, like a lot of the like tacuache like aesthetic, I guess if you want to say that, like it's just standard. For me, it's just the standard boy like
exactly.
attire of the valley. Like people, it's funny because up north they associate like Edgar's, like, oh, they're in gangs, they're in this. Like, no, that's just how the every regular ass kid dresses.
But it's either one or the other. There's no in between.
Yeah, there's like no in between. Either there's a super alt kid, an Edgar, or a conservative. Like, no in between. We landed on ka, or no kema ka.
Yes.
All right. So now that we got that one out of the way, what part of the valley are you from or most familiar with?
I was born in Harlingen, specifically in the Baptist Harlingen Hospital. I was raised in Mexico, specifically Vallehermoso. Shout out to Vallehermoso. Hijo de la chinga. GPI culeros. Anyway. And then I came over here to Edinburgh, so I reside currently here. Mm-hmm. But like I know Bronzeville, and I know West Logo, and I know Harlingen, and I know over here some parts of Mission. I haven't been over there.
Certified Valley Baddie. She's from West Laco, she's from Harlingen, she's from Edinburgh. She knows it all.
Yes.
Don't play with her.
No.
Okay. So now jumping into what we really came here to talk about. Mm-hmm. You are the president of the Intersectional Feminist Club at UTRGV. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what jump-started this journey? When did you first learn or were exposed to the theory or concept of feminism?
You see, like that was a very wild thing to do, to be honest, because like the way that happened is that I grew up in a very machista household, like super machista, like don't wear cleavage, don't wear shorts, around men relatives, around men clients and that type of stuff, because my dad owns a business. I come from this very conservative aspect of like Mexico, and like so when I came into cross with feminism, I actually was in the side of, oh, they just hating on men.
Yeah. Like,
that was my first reaction to that. Because, like, they were like, no, yeah, like, they're just, like, destroying shit for nothing. Or they're, like, just doing shit for anything. Literally, I could say that I even acted, like, somewhat to to resemble of a pygmy, but I was not picking on anybody. It was so funny. But and then actually started to invest a little bit more on like history models, if that makes sense. And like three that stuck with me the most when I was a teenager, because that's when my first exposure was when I was 12, and then when the biggest shift happened was when I was like 15, 16. So in
the
that
transformative years.
The transformative years, exactly. So I went and I started studying even more history. I'm a sucker for history, and is that three biggest models was Marie Schlossky. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I am so sorry. And also is Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz and Frida Kahlo.
Hombres necios que acusan.
Seriously.
Wait, cheers for her.
Cheers for her. Let's go for it. Yes. Love that. Yes. No, seriously.
This is Jamaica, by the way, guys, not wine. We don't drink on the job. No. we're serious girls.
Yes, exactly. These are my three biggest role models. The first thing that I discovered was literally Marie Curie. Marie Curie was I was a sucker for Marie Curie. The first thing that stuck with me is the way that her husband treated her, because he not only fight for the fact that she could win the Nobel Prize, but also about the fact that he wanted her to be able to like grab like the award and do it herself, you know. And the fact that she not only won one but twice, and being the only and like the first woman that who ever got a Nobel Prize was amazing to me. It was super like, whoa, so I can do this now, like I can actually do it. My second exposure, Sor Juana. When I was studying over there in Mexico, because all my studies are over there except for my college. My college is here. I'm currently undergraduate. So when I came into the story of Sor Juana and how it happened, it was when I was studying history of Mexico. And we were talking about how she was like basically like this big activist, the first Latin American feminist ever, like, and how she advocated for women to have more knowledge to be able to educate themselves and everything. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And it was literally like the second time that I actually go like with knowledge related to sexuality, if that makes sense. I came across with her whole history, and I started reading about how she literally had this whole ass rumor about her going with the La Virreina. Now like
lesbian nuns.
I was like, no, and not only that, but she was already married. Like she married to a man, so it was like
more scandalous.
More scandalous. I was like, I'm a sucker for chisme. I love chisme. Chisme is my passion.
Chisme is my passion, dude. No, yes, because like it's the way we share information and it spreads.
Exactly.
It's the first social media.
Actually, yeah.
For those who don't know who Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz is, she is, like she said, like one of the first Mexican like feminists ever. She went to be a nun solely because like nuns were the only ones allowed. If you went into the church and like worked for it and like dedicated your life to it, they taught you how to read and write.
Yeah.
And they gave you education. If you didn't have that, then you didn't have access to education. And that's the only reason she went in, to get her,
to be able to get any education at all. It's kind of like the way that, for example, Joan of Arc was going into like every single type of thing. The only reason for her to be using masculinity as her mask was only because she wanted to fight for her country. It's just that she didn't know how to while being a woman. So disguising herself as a man was the only way that she could do that. And a lot of times in history, women had to relieve themselves into being this male model because they would not be able to do whatever the fuck they wanted to in her women's identity.
The first time you learned about feminism was through these historical figures such as Marie Curie and Sor Juana Inez, also Joan of Arc,
Frida Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, no. My first touch of feminism was after like being conservative for a long time. Was literally them.
Right. So you did mention that. You mentioned that like your family and like most families here in the RGV, like we're traditional, we're conservative, and it's not by choice. It's through years and years and years of attempt colonization, right? And that's when did you first realize that? Like so that's how you were introduced to feminism, right? The typical, right? But when did you start learning about intersectionality?
I actually started learning about intersectionality when I started with the feminist movement over there in Mexico. Because we first started to talk about just feminists a lot broadly. And there was a small group of feminists over there in my hometown. We actually were supposed to do a protest once, and unfortunately they leaked the address of one of the people inside of the group chat. We had to get out and do another one. It was super messy.
That's scary. Yeah.
That was super scary. But like the first thing that happened when I wanted like to actually like know myself a little bit more was when I started learning about the wages of feminism. The waves. Because like my first thing that happened was, okay, I want to learn more about feminism because a lot of people is talking about it. What is feminism? And now like I saw the simplification, which is like the fight of women's rights to be in aspects or habits related to like male dominated spaces like politics. And I'm like, okay, I can fuck with that. And then they're like
pretty standard
stuff. And then I was like, okay, but what else? And that's when I started like the suffragist, and then the second wave, and then the third wave, and then the fourth wave.
Susan B. Anthony's racism.
Yes, exactly. And it was so interesting seeing how in the second and the third wave the differentiation between white feminism and like black and indigenous feminism. It was like, wow. So okay, so you wanted rights just for like your group. You couldn't add the other ones. And then I started to learn about the Adelitas, and then the like more historical figures in the Mexico's history related to women, how a lot of them were actually like go and erase from history because a man was the one, like the main face of it, like inventors, inventions, discoveries, that type of stuff. And I was like that sucks ass, because like I started to realize how much times it happened to me before. That's when like you deconstruct yourself surrounding, like once you start to, they say that it's radicalization, but in reality is deconstruction. Deconstruction, because you ended up actually like relating to all these figures little by little in your aspects in life. Because for example in second, third wave, I don't remember which one, but that's when they started with the whole I want to dress whatever the fuck I want, and not having to fear for people to be like looking at me weird or bad or wanting to try to touch me just because I have a certain look. And I was like, I relate to this because when I was in my house, I could not wear like cleavage, like for example right now. Even it was not allowed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like this one is not allowed. So I was like,
so scary, dude. So
it was super scary because it was like not in front of male relatives, not in front of clients, not in front of anybody. Because my dad will always say like, solo te están mirando por morbo, and I will be like, yeah, but that's not my fucking fault, you know. And then I couldn't wear shorts in my own house for a while because of that same reason. And I was like, but it's my house. Why do I have to like hide myself in my own house? And that's also when I started discovering a lot of the history in the family, like how my dad married my mom, how my grandpa and my grandma, I don't remember if my grandpa kidnapped her or like what happened in there, but it was so wild because the only reason of why that happened was because my mom wanted to be a nun. And my dad didn't want it that. So
Oh.
that's when like all of that shit like started to entail, and we were like, oh my god, so you couldn't be what you wanted because of the fact that a man came and just like bursted into the family, right? And that's when like I started to relate more and more and more. One of my first if you can say so, like my first traumas started to happening, because by 16, 17, I actually started to date this guy. Not saying his name because I don't he doesn't deserve it. He does have a nickname now. He's called el Sapo.
El Sapo, I think.
Okay. I will explain to you later on why.
Okay.
But in other words, what he used to do is basically, when we started dating, we actually started in a very rocky spot, because he would try like to go and like grab me and kiss me and that type of stuff, and I didn't like that. But I didn't know better, because my family, the way that they would resolve stuff is it was always by mistreating each other. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And that's when like everything started happening, like where they where my how's it called, my boyfriend, once we started like to do the relationship, he will actually would try to like go grab me in public, and I didn't like that. I just didn't like him grabbing me.
Yeah.
I felt very like, I don't like you touching me.
He was pressuring you.
Yeah, exactly. And then at one point, he actually pressured me into taking pictures, into like getting nude in front of him when we were video calling. I didn't know that he was taking pictures in that time of me when that happened. And mind you, I was 16, 17 at that time.
Violation.
It was so bad. And then I cut it off, not even because of that reason. I cut it off because like I just like he just stopped talking to me to a certain extent, and it was just about like every single time that he would try to talk to me, it was always about him wanting more pictures.
Something
and then
sexual.
It's something sexual always, and I felt super used, and to me it was like, I'm drawing the line here. I just can't do it anymore. And like later on, that's when I started to seek about like the types of sexual abuse that some women will go through. That's when I realized that was what's happening to me. And I will say I did deny it for a certain time.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, no, I was harassed. I was coerced because he would literally go and tell me, no, I want to do it, and can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? And he would not like go violently. He would just pressure and push me to do it, because like sometimes that type of violence doesn't have to happen because the person is violent. It's because of the fact that they're trying to pressure you into shit. So that was like my first option of like the construction reality, like where it hit me super hard. That is like, I am not privileged. I'm a second class citizen. I don't have any rights here. Because also another thing is that, of course, yeah, he was brown, but at the same time, he also was from a wealthy family, because his parents were doctors. So, against my parents, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. My dad was an entrepreneur. So, depending on the time, he will not gain that much. Yeah. Currently, he's not gaining that much, and he's changing, which is good. So, but in that time, it was like super fucked up, because to me, that happening to me was like, how am I gonna fight it? Especially knowing that the Mexican government did not care about that time. It still doesn't care that much in this time. But I guess shout out to Claudia Sheinbaum for actually doing at least some shit. But it's like the bare minimum. Anyway.
Yeah, that part, let's not forget.
Bare minimum. But anyway, it was like, yeah, I'm fucked. Yeah. I was like, I'm fucked. I don't know who can I rely on. And that's when my friends came in.
Thank you so much for sharing that and being so vulnerable, because I knew that this conversation was going to go around that part, because that's, like I'm telling you right now, like that's why I became...
Oh, okay.
That's literally why I also like fell down the path of feminism. Like I observed my family structure, the family model, the hierarchy within it, and I was like, I don't fuck with this. I don't like this is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like encountered like coercive and sexually coercive like partners and boyfriends who didn't care about what I wanted. They just wanted to just have their fantasy moment and not care about the person in front of them.
Exactly.
And it's really awful, and it's so crazy how all these things always lead us to like feminism, because it's like, yeah, like the protection, the celebration of femininity, the love of women, the fight for women's rights, and everyone who doesn't identify as a man, you know, a man or woman.
Yeah.
So, like, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that with me. What I got from that was you got personal influences. You also got influences through historical figures. But the thing that really, really cemented it was seeing the support from your friends and your community. And you were like, you know what? Like, I can do this, and I don't have to be in that submissive
Role anymore.
Yes!
Yes, exactly. No, and also something also that even like reaffirmed a little bit more about that specific role was the fact that it seemed like the universe just some way was in my side.
Yeah.
It was slightly hilarious that that's how it happened, because I never wish bad on anybody, not even him, which was funny. But after that, apparently he got jaw cancer. And I was like, oh my god. And then my friend Peter was like, yeah, and he already got the surgery. And he said, but the surgery went wrong, so now he looks like a sapo. And that's where he got the nickname.
The universe is on your side, girl. The universe said, don't even worry about it. I'll take care of it for you.
Exactly. And I was like,
you just keep doing you, keep being beautiful and amazing, and being the amazing organizer and community member that you are.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
All right. Speaking of community organizing, let's go back talking about a little bit about IFSO.
Yes, please.
So, or how do you say it? Do they IFSO or IFSO?
You can say that both, but I prefer to say IFSO.
IFSO, okay. IFSO. I like that too.
IFSO.
Okay. Perfect. So, what are some of the past projects or events that IFSO has done?
Oh my god. Okay, so we have a lot. Currently, we have this project called the Period Poverty Project, right?
Yeah. Period Poverty Project.
I like calling it the EPPP because that way I don't have to say it all out. The EPPP project is supposed to be about us giving menstrual products to the school in every restroom of it. Currently only navigated in Brownsville and Edinburgh because we don't have people neither in Halligan nor in West Local, nor even in Rio Grande. So we're trying to get people, but definitely for sure we don't have it right now. And we're trying to make the university to pay them so they can make them for free, because currently if you have like, and this is the analogy that I always use, is that you have a very small package of pads and tampons or liners, and it costs you $11 inside of the bookstore or the C-store in the school. So it's like, why am I gonna pay for that when I can get a whole ass package of 60 pads that are like super heavy duty for, I don't know, between $6 to $14. Like, it's way more product, first of all. Second of all, more absorbency. Third of all, I don't have to be worrying about like changing in every certain time because of the fact that they're more absorbent than the others.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I have to worry about it, right?
And the price gouging in like the convenience store at the RGV is crazy.
It is crazy. But the thing is, it's a rebranding of the period project that Mariana, the former president of IFSO, started. She relayed that duty to Natalie Palacios, former president. Shout out to Natalie, you're an amazing girl. Basically, she relayed the charge of presidency to me.
Yeah.
And that's when she also relayed the responsibility of the project to me, and she told me, anyway, like, if you ever need help, let me know. But I met Kylie midway, and that's when we started like doing all of the movements, right? But even before that, in 2021 was already a lot of efforts for us to distribute period products in the restrooms.
Yeah.
When Sol, shout out to Sol, but
Sol, I bumped into her.
Really?
I bumped into her literally delivering the products and like Plan B and like Grand Coffee Co.
Oh my god, I love that.
Shout out to
I love you so much, Sol.
Sol.
You're amazing. She's like she's part of the team from South Texas Reproductive Justice in Planned Parenthood, which I find that amazing. You're an amazing girl. You are fucking amazing. And it's like she actually started this effort since she unfroze the organization in 2021 and when I was a member. So
wow.
we started with that, right? And then we also have in Valentine's, for example, we do a lot of events called like the lollipop condoms, which is basically condoms that like just have a stick behind that makes them look or resemble to lollipops. They're not edible. Don't do that.
They tried.
No, they did. They did. We also had well, of course, you know, tablings. We have fundraisers. Currently, we actually end up finalizing a fundraiser with the Environmental Awareness Club. They're amazing. Yay. They're super cool. They work with Sound Rising RGV. They also work with South Texas Justice Network.
Okay.
Right?
Work.
Which is are the ones that are like right now battling with the SpaceX and fucking Elon Musk. Fuck you. They have been alive for more than 15 years, which is fucking amazing. Like, oh my god. Especially because they're environmentalists and they're pretty active in the community. So they accepted us into this little space for us to be able to do our stuff. I actually ended up doing tarot readings because that's one of my specialties.
Yes,
and that's actually something that I wanted to shout out is the fact that I literally have the idea of making a comedy just for like witchcraft and divination, and also for paganism. Is like another comedy, but it's just specifically related to paganism within the organization.
That's really like a coven.
Yes, like a
we're
coven.
Making a coven. Yeah.
It's gonna be yes.
Dude, I'm there.
Go for it.
Dude, because okay, mira. Is Christianity not magic? Is Christianity not magic? You do your petition, you light your little candle, whatever, like you pray, you manifest, like that is witchcraft. That is
witchcraft.
Magic.
That is the definition of witchcraft.
That is magic. So like if the current Trump administration is using their magic, their white supremacist magic, if you even want to call it. I don't even that's the reason I don't want to call it magic, but like whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
If they get to use their spirituality to target us, if they get to weaponize their spirituality, we're gonna fucking do it too.
Exactly, because that's how we're supposed to be doing shit. We're not gonna be able to do anything without us teaching about other things. We're also not gonna be able to do that if we just shut up. You need to be vocal. You need to move. You need to do our stuff. If not, you're not gonna be able to do anything at all. You're never gonna be able to change the world without at least an ounce of action. You can't change the world if you're not moving. Because the world moves without you. Then move with the world.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Speaking of all the projects that you have under your belt and that you're planning to do. Oh, yes. Activists and organizing spaces may at times be hectic and fast-paced. Not only are you the president of IFSO, but are the treasurer for YDSA, as well as work with various nonprofits and organizations. Can you tell me your favorite way to ground yourself whenever you're feeling stressed or tense?
So
now we're just talking about spirituality.
Yes, exactly. Actually, that's one of my main things to do. I talk to my patrons. I am very leaning into Hellenism. I actually praise the god Apollo, and I also praise Aphrodite because Aphrodite is amazing. But I also am very much leaning towards my indigenous roots, which is Xochiquetzal, Lady Guadalupe, and Maximon, because he's literally just there. But let me explain to you who is Maximo.
Mi klika siwa.
Keep talking.
Come
I'm like, keep
on.
talking. Literally. So, what I'm meaning with Maximon is actually something that I barely learned when I barely started like to know who my patrons are.
Yeah.
And he is apparently, they call it Don Simon too, but he's basically an entity or a deity Mayan that is related more to the narcos. And I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, but huh. And I was so weirded out on the fact that he would like follow me around,
Yeah.
or that I had to follow him around. But it was like super funny at the same time because I was like, okay, so what do you do exactly?
Yeah.
But apparently he's like very much into like fertility and that type of stuff, and also like he's like about like prosperity, wealthiness as well. But he also like has his negative connotations as anything dual, of course. But that's one of like the main things that I do, right? That's meditation is one of the main things that I do. Contact my patrons, like try and like praise him, ask them for guidance, right? The second thing to do that I love to do because of the fact that, well, I have a partner. I love you so much. By the way,
I love love.
yes. It's the fact that I like to de-stress or decompress by going with my partner and just like lay there. Literally, the best thing that you can do when you're like super overwhelmed and stressed is just basically just go with the person that you feel the safest the most, and then just decompress there. Like just lay down. You don't have to even talk or like do anything. Just lay down or sit down and just let the world take over you. Seriously.
I love that you get to have that, as you should.
Thank
Literally
you.
as you should.
Thank you.
I love that for you. Alright, next question I have for you is, what is it like to talk to students about intersectional feminism? Is your approach different when discussing the topic with friends and families versus strangers? What are the most common interactions during your tabling sessions?
Well, it is actually very. There's a big ass difference between like going and dealing with strangers and dealing with your family and friends.
Right.
Because the main difference is that the strangers don't know you.
Yeah.
They don't know who you are, and the first impression that you give to them is gonna be the defining impression that they're gonna have of you.
Yeah.
So.
And of the topic that you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, to them, if you're not like a very approachable person, or maybe you're having a bad day and you're tabling and everything, and you like respond to a certain way that they probably were like, whoa, they're more likely are not gonna try to talk to you about anything. No, doesn't matter what type of topic you're going through. Now, with intersectionality and feminism and intersectional feminism, it's kind of quite tricky, if I can say that, because a lot of men specifically are very much they are very scared of the word feminism because of how demonized the word is. And it is very understandable because of how the news portray feminism. The use of feminism in the news is very much chaotic, and it's very much, they target always the people that hates, like literally goes in fully on hates on men. But they never understand that if you're a victim, if you support women, if you support abortion rights or human rights in general, you have a place in the feminist movement. It's just that you have to be respectful about the spaces that you take over. But in tablings, I try to be inviting, and I try to tell them, well, maybe you feel afraid about the word feminism, or maybe you think that is not your space, because probably you're very uneducated about the subject. So let me tell you, feminism helps everybody, especially intersectional feminism. Helps everybody. And the first example that I always give them is literally, have you ever been told that you need to man up? Have you ever been told that you need to not cry, that you cannot feel any other emotion more than just angriness, sadness, or happiness, and that's it? That you're so limited in your space of emotional support that you literally are suppressing every single emotion that you have, that is not those three. You know, like, have you ever been into those situations? And if they open up to me and they tell me, yeah, no, I have gone through it, and I tell them, well, that's the effects of patriarchy. It may so I always tell, it may sound funny to you because a lot of the times they use it as a punchline, but in reality, it is a very real thing that systematically affects every single one of us.
Yep.
And I always tell them, the reason why you go to war, the reason why you are being expected to be the provider, the protector, the strongest one, it's not because of women, it's because of men. It's because of the patriarchy.
Yep.
So you have to understand that for you to be able to take away that type of mentality, you have to educate yourself. And I tried my best to tell them, this is a welcoming space, and if you are any of the things that I talk to you, come and join us. Literally, it's not something that you should be afraid of. We're not gonna go and hate on you and tell you you should die. I'm not gonna do that, because it's like, to be able to combat hate, you need to be compassionate too. And that's actually one of the rules that I have in my organization. We have the three-eye ruling, or the three-eye, I don't remember the other word that I use, but it's a three-eye ruling. The first thing is that you have to be intersectional, of course. You have to understand that all systems of oppression are equally let me repeat that. The first thing that you have to understand is intersectionality, the first eye, because you have to understand that every single system of oppression is really, really much destructive. It can affect anybody, and in any moment you can be in one of those circles. Maybe not in, for example, race or ethnicity. You cannot just become somebody that is black, but you can become disabled. You can have a mental illness, or you can lack of, for example, any knowledge that may enclose you to this type of oppressive systems. So that's the first one. The second one is impartiality. You have to be impartial to be able to go in this type of topics. You cannot just go and barge, oh, I will do this, when somebody is talking about their experience. How can you do that in trying to entitle yourself in somebody else's experience? It's not your space, it's not your time to shine, like, you have to understand that this moment is not about you, it's about them. So if you cannot understand that the way that they behave is it's not really their choice, is what the tools that they work with, then I cannot tell you that you're gonna be impartial. Right? And the third one is integrity, because there's something that I hate a lot, and it's the fact that you cannot talk, that if somebody doesn't have the ability to talk to me with all the honesty in the world, if they cannot do that and they're just talking shit about me behind my back, I'm like, you're just, one, you're double-faced, two, you're a hypocrite, and three, I never give you any sort of space where you cannot talk to me about it. Right? If you have a problem, tell me straight away. It's not that I'm gonna go and like scream at you or some shit like that.
And the fact that like people might be scared to speak up says more about them and how they're intimidated than it does about you.
True. That's how my talkings go, and I hope that I never made somebody intimidated to talk to me, but I sincerely think that I am very open to discussions, to debates, and thankfully I have never gone through like going and like debating somebody and them becoming aggressive to me. Thankfully, I have never. But and also I have never had like, for example, a conservative coming into the table and saying like, oh, your shit is not like. I have never had that, which is great.
I'm sorry, it's because they're cowards. Like, they're never gonna go and try to have a conversation because they know that they're gonna lose. Like, people, like, a lot of conservatives treat like regular logic as like manipulation, and it's like, no, this is how you talk. You just don't know how.
Most conservatives are very fucking allergic to logic.
Speaking of, like, thank you for answering that question. It's very eye-opening, and I'm glad that no one has ever gotten like aggressive with you, and that I hope it never happens. But if they do, I know that you can beat the fuck out of them.
It's okay to punch Nazis.
Speaking of like school and tabling at school, what are you studying to do? Like, what are your plans for your future career?
Oh, okay. I love answering this question a lot. I'm gonna ask you first. Like, how do you? What major do you think that I'm pursuing? Hi.
I don't know. I'm gonna say history, because you say you love history, so. But you don't look like a history like person. Like, well, you could be, but you look like you're giving. Like, I'm starting to be a lawyer type shit. Like, law.
Well, close, because like literally, I'm a criminal justice major.
There we go.
I am a criminal.
See, I
justice
got it.
major.
I got
yeah,
it.
you got it. You got the vibe, but. How's it called? I'm a criminal justice major, concentration in translation in Spanish, and hoping that I get a double minor, because I really want to get my double minor as in Mexican American Studies. The only reason why I asked that question is because of the fact that a lot of people actually thought when they see me, depending on what I'm doing, is what they think my major is. For example, I'm in choir. I am in the university choir. And I also do a lot of performing. Like, I do performing arts a lot.
Of course, a multifaceted queen.
Yes.
Don't play.
I love poetry. I love writing. I literally have my accounts in OE3. AO3, so it's, oh my god.
No, shout it out. We'll shout everything out.
Please. Please. So it's like, yes, like, I have my accounts in AO3. Like, I literally written since I was like super little, like when I was probably like a toddler.
Yeah, chiquita.
Yeah, because in reality, I actually started very soon to like write and read, because my mom pushed me to know that. Like, she was the one, and that's the reason also why she is also one of my major role models sometimes. And it's the fact that she always told me, you need to study, and you need to study, because that's what you're best at, and that's how you get your shit together, you know. And she because of her is the fact that I knew how to write, how to speak, and how to count numbers, and sometimes even talking in English when I was literally like between kindergarten and elementary school, which is something that not a lot of kids actually achieve, because of the fact that like there's nobody constantly like helping them around. And I'm very grateful that I had that privilege, because it's like, without that, I would have never touched books. Never.
Yeah, without having like parents telling like not putting pressure on you, but like encouraging you to go down that path.
Exactly, because like also my mom always encouraged me like to keep writing, keep doing my stuff, and my dad also encouraged me like to learn how to play instruments, learn how to sing. So I'm always be grateful that like from that side I have the arts, right? It's super interesting to see like all this multiple things that I could be, but I literally chose my career because one, I got into my fight to a fight with my dad, because he didn't know wanted me to be a writer, so I told him, well, I'm gonna be a criminologist then, as long as I'm not in my house anymore.
Yeah.
And then that's when I like remember all my passion, because when I used to be a kid, I used to like see all this very big programs like Law and Order, SUV, and also like there wasn't a specific program that I used to see a lot. They would talk a lot into forensics and how the aspects in the labs and everything, and I was fascinated with that. Fascinated. So that's when I started to go into that route of criminology in criminal justice. And after that, that's when I decided I want to be a forensic scientist. And then I started to see the corruption in the system, and I'm like, I want to be a forensic science because I want to change the system from the inside out. I want to be able to people to rely on me when they're having an investigation, that they know that I am not gonna be raped for them to get an easy case. I am not. I have very much high ethics. So I literally am not a person that is easily persuaded into doing bad things at all. And especially if they're gonna condemn somebody that is probably innocent.
Yeah.
So it's like I do my best in what I do, you know?
I think that is so amazing, and you're literally gonna be the next fucking Dexter, bitch.
Yay!
But so much better, like 10 billion times better, and without the stupid little like serial killer, like
True.
without the serial killer sob story.
True.
just the bad bitch backstory.
All
Right.
thank you.
So we talked about how you're working with so many different like organizations. We talked about how you're tapping into so many different talents, and your degree, like those that you're studying towards, is completely different from your hobbies and the organizing work that you do. Well, not really completely different, but in the technicalities, like I bet it is. I bet it is. What would you say is your favorite part of the work that you do currently?
I'll say that my favorite topic and my favorite thing to do when all the work that I do is basically getting to see how much I help people. Because to me, like the reason why I help people a lot is because it is not for the credit. Because contrary to the popular belief, I don't give a fuck about credit. It's more about the fact that I can make somebody happy with that, that I can help somebody, and they'll be like, I am so thankful that I met you, because I changed my life after this. I have heard it so many times that I just feel super blessed that I have even had the chance to actually do that. And I'm like, I have never had that chance before when I was like a teenager or that I was growing up in my high school. But I was so glad that I had the access to do this right now, to which is the reason of why I enjoy it so much. And that's the reason of why, like, every single time that somebody approached to me, I do my best to be the most compassionate and also like the most welcoming person that they could ever met. Because um, as long as you have somebody that is like that, your whole worldview changes. Like, if you have somebody that is compassionate to you when you're in your lowest, that's when you know that there's still hope in this world.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. That's literally my biggest passion and the reason why I keep moving into this type of work.
I love that, and I see that, dude. I see how you, like, every person that you interact with, like, you just shine your light, and no one can take that away from you ever. Like, you're just a little, like, speck of light floating around the RGV.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Truly. So we got that out of the way, right? Your favorite.
Yeah.
But what is the most, like, challenging part?
Oh, the challenging part and is always gonna be educating people, cause
yeah. Oh, I felt that so much.
Yeah. No, it is seriously because of the fact that yes, cause it's like you can always know so much about something and like let them know everything, give them every single source in the fucking world, and they're not gonna believe you. You know, like there's always gonna be somebody that is not gonna believe you, and they're gonna still tell you that you're a liar and that you're manipulative and that you don't do anything good. And I'm like, that's the most challenging part because of the fact that like I'm very super heavy into like being angry. Like I sometimes are like it's just one few words I'm already triggered. The rage. And it's because of the fact that the lack of education can lead you to do so much harmful stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that like a lot of people thinks that the men's translation, for example, in that Bible verse that says like, "Do not lay with a man with another man the same way as a woman," that they think that is what it was supposed to be in the Bible, when in reality was don't lay with a boy the same way. A man could not lay with a boy the same way with a woman. Yeah.
Like and it's speaking like, towards pedophilia.
Yeah, exactly. Like pedophilia, pederasty is literally, like the fact that they cannot even grasp the concept of there was literally a whole institution that tell them, hey, it's not correct. This is the correct translation from the Hebrew. Please do not believe that that's correct. And them still using them as a rhetoric. It's like, if you cannot go past beyond your ignorance, I cannot help you. Like, yeah. You have to be the person that wants to get educated, and that's it.
They have to get out of their own way first.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, we can't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do shit for you. Like, in a way, like, we have to wait people to come to us. And sadly, a lot of people who do, like, once they do come to us, it's when shit already hit the fan and just want us to clean it for them.
Yeah, and it's like, if you really want like support and you want this type of things to like not happen in that way, then you really have to be open-minded about the fact that not every single thing that you say or do is gonna be correct.
Yeah.
Not every single time you're gonna be right.
Yeah.
I am.
I am though.
I am.
Yeah.
No, that's funny.
Yeah.
But no, like I always say, I could be wrong, but I'm always right. It's funny.
But you give yourself that like space. Like it's like, hey, but I could be wrong. So everyone who is like has a better idea, like say something now, and they never do.
Yeah, cause it's like, I always say that I could be wrong as a way to tell them, like, just remember I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm a human and I can make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But once I'm proved right, I'm like, bitch, I told you.
Speaking on the topics of people making mistakes and maybe regretting it, having to get out of their own way, what would your number one advice be to the youth of the Valley?
The only thing that that I could tell them is study. Like, don't stick with just one thing that you learn in the internet. If you can go to the library is literally fucking free. Books in the library are for free. You can get a fucking library book, a library book card, and then go to the library, learn. Go and learn. Don't stay with just one thing. Don't be your fucking grandpa, the one that posts his fucking AI generated videos in the fucking Facebook page. Like, you are better. Like, you literally can be better because you're still growing. You never stop growing. You continuously go and keep deconstructing yourself. So please learn. And if you literally,
such good advice. Yes, go to the library,
yes,
please.
Seriously.
Like, instead of scrolling one day, literally, like, go to the library and, like, the first thing you think of, the first topic you think of, well, I wonder what I can learn about, I don't know, Mesoamerican history. Go find a book and read it, and that'll be your scrolling. You know what I mean? While we still have them.
Not only that, but also about the fact that literally your attention span decreases every single fucking time that you scroll in the fucking phone.
Wait, really?
It does.
Every single time?
Every single time.
Oh my god.
It's like, that's the reason why I read and I also scroll on my phone. Like, I'm not telling you to stop scrolling on fucking TikTok. It's fucking addictive. That's the reason why it's a platform. What I'm telling you is, when you need to decompress and when you need to go away from it, go and read a book instead of going into the fucking phone. Do not do that. If you're feeling aggressive, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling something like that, the only thing that is gonna appear in your fucking curated algorithm is just gonna be the things that you're feeling in the moment. They're not gonna show you the reality. They're not gonna show you whatever the fuck. They're literally gonna show you whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's
keep
just
you in that bubble.
It's just gonna keep you in that comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Stop staying in that specific small space that is just reaffirming all that shit. It's just confirmation bias. Please read.
Please. Thank you. Thank you. Pretty please with a cherry on top.
Please.
Right. So now that we got that out of the way for the kiddos, what is your number one advice to the parents and the adults of the Valley?
Stop discouraging your kids. Seriously.
I love
stop. Because it's
off.
Literally. No, seriously. Because it's like, what exactly is making you harm for them to have hobbies, for them to go in with their friends? Like, unless I can give you the benefit of the doubt if their friends are just like doing, I don't know, for example, drugs, that whether they can destroy them in that fucking sense. I understand that. Yeah. Yes. Like, they shouldn't be, for example, drinking alcohol in that time. They shouldn't. It destroys the brain, unfortunately. In that age it does. Yeah. So it's like, instead of that, encourage them to do whatever they want to do. If they want to pursue music, let them pursue music. If your male child wants to go and pursue ballet, let them fucking pursue ballet. You know how hard it is for a ballet dancer to be able to pursue ballet? Like, how bad they destroy their fucking feet sometimes. That's because of the passion that they have, one, and two, because it's the strongest sport that you can ever fucking find. If you never get out of your bubble from the conservativeness that you really see, then in that case, better never be creative at all. Better. Seriously. Like, if you really...
Just give up.
Seriously, give up. Like, seriously, if you don't want anybody to be fucking creative, if you don't want your child to be creative, then fucking give up on your dreams too. Because literally, the only reason why your dreams are stopping is because of you. Like, the only person that should be believing is yourself in you. Literally, you should not be like looking for anybody else's advice or like fucking else's, like, about your expressions and your creativity. That's you. Your imagination is the only one that should be pursuing that type of stuff, and should be validated by you. Validated by you. Seriously, because it's like, how many times, and this is a question for the parents, and I hope you answer yourself this at home, and is that, how many times do you try to pursue something your parents shut you down because it was not something that it was going to bring money to the table? How many times do you try to write? Do you try to do music? Do you try to do performing? Do you try to do anything related remotely to be creative, and they shut you down? That's the same shit that you're doing to your child if you're not letting them pursue whatever the fuck hobby that you have. If they have, even if it's like fucking parkour, let's say that. Because literally,
because hey,
seriously.
Because who said that all the jobs have to look a certain way?
Yeah. Literally, like, just pursuing a job that is gonna generate you money is not gonna make you happy, and the only thing that is gonna make you feel is literally you're gonna reach retirement, you're gonna fucking regret everything that you have done in your life. That's literally what is gonna happen. So instead of stop encouraging your kids, stop discouraging your kids on being creative. Encourage them, help them, guide them.
Support your kids.
Support your kids.
Support your kids.
And also, stop confusing fucking gentle parenting with fucking permissive parenting. Just because your kid is fucking everything over, that doesn't mean that they should not have consequences on their fucking actions. Stop doing that. Stop saying that yes to everything.
I think you kind of clocked them and like gagged any parent listening to that, because like I know what you're talking about, because I am like researching all this shit. But do they? No, they don't even know.
So like the main difference between a fucking permissive parent and a gentle parent is the fact that one says yes to everything, the permissive one, and the other one says, well, you're gonna have consequences to whatever the fuck you do, which is the gentle one. Being gentle does not equal that they don't have consequences. If don't let your children become somebody that is gonna just face shit and not get any repercussions for it. This is the reason of why a lot of guys currently are rapists and they're not in jail, because they don't face consequences on their actions. That's the reason why a lot of thieves, a lot of people that is in bureaucracy can get away with the shit, because of the fact that before they never face the consequences on their own fucking actions. Yeah. Take note on that, please.
Thank you for saying that, because people think it's not that deep. It is that deep.
It is.
And every single action like parents do, every single thing that y'all say, every kind of behavior that you model, your kids have that downloaded in them biologically. Mm-hmm. It is a big deal. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for saying all that stuff.
Thank you.
Okay. Next question. Second to last question, by the way. Mm-hmm. Do you have any upcoming projects or events that you want to talk about?
Oh, yes. I love that. So I do have, for example, today, that's the reason why I need to like go early, but it's because of the fact that I have a tabling for orientation. So somebody like literally like I go and talk to people that is barely coming into the school. Mm-hmm. And I have
that's so nice. You'd be perfect for that.
Thank you. I literally like go and I speak to them, and like I have pamphlets and that type of stuff, and I give them away. Yeah. And I also like motivate them to like grab sex safe stuff, like we provide condoms, we provide Plan Bs, we love vacation, we also guides about it too, like, but not a lot of people grabs those. They just grab either the Plan Bs and they grab bundles, or they just don't grab anything. Mm-hmm. Like literally. And it's like only the free stuff that they can use, like for example the stickers, and they're like, bitch, grab the other things. like
go ahead,
please, like go if ahead. Not for you, for your friends. Yeah. If not for your friends, for your family, whatever the fuck. Yeah. And we also have, well, it's not the only tabling, we have multiple tablings happening, But we also have a fundraiser happening in the 8th, and it's gonna be used for the project that we have right now, the MPO project, Poverty Project. And in the fall, we're gonna be opening something, and it's the comedy that I mentioned before, which is we're gonna open 5 comedies actually.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is gonna be the art committee that is gonna be led by the director of communications.
So cool.
Thank you. And then we also have the committee of witchcraft and domination, the committee of paganism, and also the research and the NPO Poverty Project committee. We have all of these committees because we can only do so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, I would love to actually be able to do all of these things in just one day. That doesn't mean that we can, so we need people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why I divided it in 5 committees.
Mm-hmm.
And I also saw a lot that, like, there's a lot of people in the valley that believes in witchcraft, divination, that wants to know about paganism, but they don't know how to research it. For example, if you go to Barnes and Nobles, there's a fucking section called religion, but they never go and explain to you, like, or they have books about specifically about Hellenism,
Mm-hmm.
let's say that. And it's like, okay, so you have religion, but you don't have any non-Christian, non-Catholic related religions, like, for example, Judaism, Muslims, all that type of stuff. So it's like, this is gonna be your perfect spot if you want to learn that type of stuff, you know, because I want to open the door to anybody that wants to learn this type of things. And also the reason why I divided between paganism and witchcraft and divination is because you don't have to be pagan nor Wicca to be able to do witchcraft. You don't have to be any of those things also to be able to do divination. You can be Christian and still do divination and still practicing witchcraft.
Ancient priests used to do tarot readings.
Oh yeah,
like, that's what they would do.
Exactly. Literally.
And then they banned them from the church.
Like, not only that, like Christmas and Halloween are pagan traditions.
Yeah.
So it's like they have roots in that type of stuff. So why not learning about it? You know, why not learning about, like, the different roots that your own traditions currently have now? Mm-hmm. You know. And that's why I wanted to open that community. But because also another thing is that the reason why I wanted to open the coven is because of the fact that there's no spaces whatsoever in the valley for somebody to practice witchcraft safely. Mm-hmm. They always guide themselves with blogs and internet or TikTok and that type of stuff. They really don't have a specific space where they say, yeah, we offer classes or we offer learning experiences. I know that, for example, the Witchness does offer, like, books about, like, divination or witchcraft related stuff, but, like, they don't really offer, like, classes or anything. They do offer readings and everything, but they don't offer, like, classes specifically about how to do spells, or you have to ask them personally, what type of spells can you do, you know?
Yeah.
And even then, they don't explain you the steps or anything, which is, like, something that I really want that to happen in this.
It's really different learning just witchcraft on your own from, like, a book or, like, a video online than having someone working with it with you. Exactly. Like, sharing that energy, learning together, seeing your process. It's very important. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing those upcoming events. I'm so excited and looking forward to them. I've been begging the universe for, like, a witch, like, school, like a coven school, like, you know what I mean? So that's gonna be awesome. Like, I already see. All right. Yes. We've stumbled upon our very last question, which is, where can my listeners find you?
Ooh, you can find me in every single fucking platform. Seriously, like, I have everything at this point. The only thing that I don't have anymore is fucking X, because Twitter is not X anymore. Fuck you, Elon. I'm not gonna give you any fucking of my time. Not anymore. So I erased
it. Sucks.
Yeah, I moved to Blue Sky.
Yeah, I tried to move to Blue Sky, but I got bored and I left.
No, I moved to Blue Sky. I moved all my stuff from X to all.
Thank you so much, Ximena, for coming to the pod. We have our background, we have our mic, we have our lighting, our setup, our everything. Like, thank you so much for doing the work that you do. Thank you for being like literally a light, shining light on feminism, shining light on intersectionality here in the Valley. And it's just, I admire you ever since I worked with you and we met at YDSA, all that stuff. Like, I always knew, like, that girl is doing it right. I need to know her story and see what's up, because se te cae toda la luz, like, nada más se te sale así.
Thank you.
Like, I can't wait to see what you do. I'm so excited for, like, the future of IFSO. So excited for your future. And I'm just gonna be there along the way cheering you on.
Thank you so much. No, and thank you so much to you for, like, giving me a space where I can actually talk about this. Seriously, you are an amazing creator. You're also an amazing, really good activist. I really see, like, everything that you do is just, whoa. Seriously.
It's because we don't take bullshit, dude.
We don't. We shouldn't.
We're done. Starting from now, we're not going to take any bullshit from these little fucking activists.
Exactly. Fuck you.
Really, fuck you. Alright, guys. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Malcriada Thoughts, hosted by yours truly, Sojourn Ives, with
Ximena Ruiz.
Signing off.